What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Babbles Nonsense podcast. I am so excited about today's guest. I have Meenu here. She is an energy healer and a transformative coach. She does it all. She does everything from Reiki, theta healing, life coaching, spiritual coaching, human design interpretation, EFT tapping, and so much more. Please stay tuned to this episode. You do not want to miss it. Hi, everyone. I have Meenu here with me today doing this podcast. Her business, I believe, is Transcend into Wellness. And this is May. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I feel like what you do is clearly in the mental health realm. You do Reiki, you do theta healing, life coaching, spiritual coaching, human design, tapping. What do you not do? You do it all.
Okay. So it's Transcendence
Oh,
by
sorry.
Meenu.
Lord, that was your podcast.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah,
why
yeah.
I had it written down. My bad. That is your
Yes.
podcast. She also is a fellow podcaster as well. She does everything. She does everything.
Yes, yes. Thank you for the introduction. So it's, yes.
I'm so sorry.
You are completely fine. It's too confusing even for me. It's like, yes, Transcendence by Meenu is the business name where you guys can find me if you're listening to it. And Transcend into Wellness is my podcast. So you are actually right when you said Transcend into Wellness. It's just my
I had it
podcast.
written down like slashed your name, and I should have put podcast above it, and my handwriting is just terrible
It's
sometimes.
all good. Yeah.
So tell us your backstory. Like, have you always wanted to be in the therapy realm where you help people or just like talk to people? How did that come about for you?
Wow, that's an amazing question. So for me, ever since I grew up and I knew that I didn't belong. I didn't belong in what was taught in school. And what was taught in school was just math, it was science, it was biology,
Right.
it was art class, it was gym class. I was like, well, there are some classes I enjoy doing more, and some classes I just like absolutely hate. Like, and then I've always wondered, oh my God, like, am I actually going to be doing this for a long term? Because it feels so unaligned. So the one thing which I always look forward to every time I woke up and went to school when I was a young girl, like I always looked forward to interacting with people.
That's amazing.
But I didn't understand at that age what that meant.
Right.
I'm like, what is this like interest in like getting to know personalities, getting to know people, and where they like, what is this passion? Like, I don't have this major at that time where people were like, oh, like you can actually do this for a living.
Right.
Like, nobody encouraged this. They were just like, especially growing up in India, it was like, are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be an engineer? Or are you going to be a lawyer?
Those were the three majors you had. Not like, do you want to get into therapy and wellness?
Not at all, not at all. So for me, I always grew up thinking that, okay, I need to go in this traditional route. I need to work for a living. I need to join this corporate, and I'm just going to do it because everybody's doing it. So I guess I'm just going to do it because, Yeah, so I was like, okay, fine. So the one thing that came closer to working with people in what I was doing was marketing.
Okay.
So I started, I got a degree in business and then a major in marketing. So I was like, okay, like, so let's do this. Let's work with people. Let's do client relations. And then, so I started working with like client management, client relations, marketing for a while. I think I did that for like, 3, 4 years on and off. And then this is the thing. I felt really unfulfilled. I
Okay.
was making money and I was talking to people. I was going to the office and I was like, something is missing. Something is not there. And I was like, okay, what is it? What is it? What is it? And at that point, I had already started meditating. So this was like 7 years ago. I already started meditating. I felt very unaligned in my job. And I was like, I don't know what feels unaligned. And then this was the time when I had moved to Mexico City. This was 2015. I had moved to Mexico City for a relationship. And then so I went there and I was like, I guess I'll just get a job then. So I learned Spanish.
Hey, that's awesome. I don't even know Spanish and I need it.
Yeah, so I like beginner level, not like I'm an expert or anything. I learned it and then I was like, okay, I'll just go work for a job. I got a work visa, I got a job. And then it was just this misalignment. And then I was like, okay, I guess I'm in Mexico now. I need to meet more people. I need to make more friends. So this is an interesting story. So I went to a meetup group called Foreigners in Mexico City. Went there.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I started talking to all these people. And one of the persons that I was talking to was like, I'm going for a workshop this weekend. Do you want to join me? I was like, hey, I'm trying to network. I'm trying to get to know people. I'm trying to make friends. Sure. Like, what's the workshop about? And then she goes, oh, it's about energy healing. And then I'm like, ooh, I mean, I just started meditating, but hey, I would love to learn about energy.
For some
And
reason,
so,
that just gave me chill bumps. I don't know why. Like, I just got like my hair just like stood up on my arms when you said that. I don't know why.
so I actually went, I was like, okay, hey, it's not going to hurt anything. Let me just go. It was a Saturday. So I went to the workshop. And when I tell you, Jonna, like my whole life changed in 2 days, upside down, like 180. Because after the workshop, I was like, oh my God, the thing that was missing, I think I just found it.
Yeah. That's an amazing feeling because I know there's a lot of people walking around like stuck in a career that they don't really love, or maybe they feel like they're too old, or like it's a family thing, like my family wants me to do this. Like even when I chose my career in nursing, I didn't know what I wanted to do other than I didn't want to stay in the small town that I lived in. And nursing or like a teacher or engineers was the way you got out of
Hmm.
the small town to go to college, and that was like what you did because it made money.
Exactly. So I did the right thing
Yeah.
because as human beings, we are also raised to follow the tribe. We have the tribe mentality. So it's like, okay, let's see where everybody's going. Let's go there.
Right.
Because we don't want to stand out. It's lonely, it's scary. We don't want to do something which is outside the box, right?
Right.
Yeah, so basically after that, everything had changed for me. I'm like, oh my God, I love this. I want to do this all the time. So I started doing energy healing for family and friends alone because I'm like, who am I to heal people? Who am I to coach? I don't know anything.
Okay.
I didn't study therapy. That's not my background.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, who am I to do this? So I had a lot of like lack of faith, I would say, to start off with. And then I was like, okay, we're just gonna practice on friends and we're just gonna practice on family because I had gotten certified in at that time theta healing.
And so explain that to me because I don't even know what theta healing is. And I didn't want to look it up because I wanted to hear it from you.
Absolutely. So theta healing is a healing that occurs to the human being in when they are in a theta brainwave. So basically, that is a brainwave when your subconscious mind is really, really active. So when I work with clients, I take them into this process, which is, I don't want to say induction, but it's like almost like it's like hypnotherapy. It's very
Okay.
similar. So it's a meditative process. It's a guided process. I take them to a state where the brain waves are in theta brainwave, which means they're relaxed in a meditative state.
That makes
And the,
sense.
yeah, and then we induce healings to happen in that state because what happens in the subconscious really makes a big difference on the conscious level. So for me, when I went to that workshop, I was like, I was having instant healings and I saw people having instant healings. And I'm like, this is kind of crazy and unreal and also magical all at the same time.
Right. It sounds
Like,
magical.
what is this? Like, I need to like practice this on myself. I need to practice this on my friends and family. So I did a lot of practice sessions, and then I got good because I was like, okay, if we're really going to do this, we need to get the faith. We need to get behind it. And so I started doing this for everyone. And then I'm like, how would it be if I just posted on the Facebook group saying I want to start seeing clients, right? And I was still working a job, by the way. So I was like, okay, I'm still working. And then after I started posting, people started showing up.
Wow. Yeah.
So it literally came from nothing. Like I said, I am not a therapist. I'm not this, oh, renowned therapist that did this, nothing. Like I'm nobody. And I came from nothing. It was all because of an inspiration to go to a workshop. And then after the workshop, everything changed. And then I started doing this. I started seeing clients in Mexico, and then I left my job, and then I made it a full-time business.
Now, you're not only doing the theta healing, you also do Reiki. When did you
Right.
start getting into Reiki? Like was that around the same time? And can you explain what Reiki is because I had a Reiki session with you and I want to talk about
Yes.
that.
Oh my God, absolutely. So basically, once I started doing theta healing, then my mind, I'm such a geek and a nerd before I get into this. And I'm just like, what else is out there?
Right. It's
So I'm
almost
like,
like
now,
sorry, not to interrupt you, but it's almost like this stuff is hidden on purpose. Does that like I feel like insurance doesn't pay for this stuff or people don't talk about it a lot, but
hmm
it works and it comes from cultures like Mexico City, and I believe like
yes,
in your culture you probably had a lot of this energy work. And it's
yes.
just like why are we not bringing that to the forefront when we know it works, but it's hard to get people to buy into the process.
Exactly, exactly. And the thing is, honestly, it's this also a part of the tribe mentality, right? It's like go
Yeah.
if you're sick and if you feel like you're in a funk, take a pill. Well, that's what we're always taught, and we're raised in that belief. So we always think we need to go to a doctor or we need to take something like a pill or something to actually solve our problems when maybe it's our own subconscious, maybe it's our own energy that's actually causing the problem in the first place. So instead of putting a band-aid, why don't you actually heal the thing that's causing it? So for me, I started getting very geeky about it. And I was like, okay, now that we have like mastered this theta healing and I'm having clients come in, how can I make this like an unbelievable transformation for my clients? Like, what can I do to make sure that they are like, oh my God, like, this is amazing. Like, I have healed so much, I've done so much. And then I started researching, and then I'm like, okay, there's this thing called Reiki. Cool. So I found somebody in Mexico. I got certified in Reiki. And then I was like, okay, what else is there? And then there's so many other modalities like Reiki, like quantum touch, so many things. But to get into Reiki, what Reiki is it's actually universal energy. And if I wanted to explain this in a layman terms for anybody that's listening, trying to understand energy healing, when you were a kid and you were running and you fell down and you fell on your knees and you hurt your knees, what do? You take both your hands and you put it on your knees.
Mhm.
You do it without even knowing that you're actually doing it because it makes you feel better.
Okay. All right.
So when you put intention and focus on something, it begins to heal from within.
Wow, that's powerful. So when you do your Reiki sessions, that's why you like touch certain areas or like focus on certain areas?
Absolutely. So
Okay, that makes sense.
when I do a Reiki session, basically the energy and the trauma and the sadness and everything that a human is going through, it's all based on your chakras. It's all stored in your chakras. So in a Reiki session, I place my hands, or even when I do distance sessions, I use my intention and I guide the energy, the universal energy, to specific areas of the person's body to basically unblock. I don't want to say unblock, more like clear the field, clear the energy, clear the pain on what shows up for them. So basically, Reiki is just like using your intentions, using the energy to make sure we are clearing whatever is stuck.
And can you explain the chakras to me, like the different chakras, where they
Yeah.
are and what their names are?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's start with the root, right? Root means it's already in the ground, so it's the base. So the root chakra is located in the base of the spine. And so the root chakra is like connected to safety, security, childhood, all of that, because the root chakra is one of the first few chakras to be formed when you're growing up. So when my clients come to me and they're like, oh my gosh, like, I feel this, I feel this, I feel this. And then I do energy work and I double verify that their root is imbalanced. The first question I ask them is, what are the areas in your life where you feel a lack of safety?
Yeah.
And then what are the areas in your life where you have not healed from your childhood? Because all that's going to show up in the root chakra. It's going to show me that it's not balanced.
Yeah.
And then, so moving on to the sacral, which is located below the abdomen, right above the pelvic bone. So the sacral chakra is yellow in color, and then, sorry, orange in color. The root is red, the sacral is orange. And then, so what the sacral chakra is, it's a chakra, I like to call it, for desires, sexuality, and creativity. So, for example, the sacral chakra is formed in kids between the age of 3 to 7. Why I say this in particular is because that is when kids, as kids, even were like, Mom, I want this. I want this. I want to be Superman. I want to be Batman. I want to be a princess.
Yeah.
All of that. Why is that coming up? Because it's the desire.
Okay.
That is when we start asking for things And that is when the sacral chakra is really forming.
Okay.
It's when things are integrating. So when a person feels unworthy, when a person feels that their manifestation, like they want something, but they're never getting it, when the person feels stuck in their creativity, it's usually like, okay, something's going on with your sacral chakra. Like we need to work more deeply into that and releasing these beliefs and blocks, because your sacral chakra is like showing me that,
Yeah.
right? And the next is the solar plexus, which is like right above the navel. So the solar plexus chakra is literally the center, and is the center, it's a chakra of confidence, willpower, and is a chakra of identity. I have a lot of clients that, struggle with identity work.
Yep.
It's like, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And then, am I even worthy to show up like this? Am
Yeah.
I feeling confident to show up like this, even though I want to? It's that lack of confidence.
Mm-hmm.
So that definitely is a big part of the solar plexus. And the next is the heart chakra. As the name defines, heart is in the center of your chest, and it has a lot to do with giving love, and it has a lot to do with receiving love. When I see my clients, it's like a lot of people give love, a lot of people are givers, but they have trouble receiving.
Yes. Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't know if I'm worthy of that, but let me give you, let me give, you know?
I can feel that down to my heart. Yes.
Yes, absolutely. So it's like, when we're doing energy work and I find out that something's going on, and I ask them, hey, like, do you have trouble receiving love? Why do you feel unsafe to receive that kind of love? And then we know something's going on with the heart, right? And then the next is the throat chakra. As the name defines throat, it's the center of communication. Where are you not speaking the truth? This is my favorite, because I'm a big truth speaker and I encourage my clients to speak the truth at all times. Where are you not saying what you're supposed to say? Where is that block in communication? Are people often misunderstanding what you're saying? That's also throat chakra issue.
I feel like
You
all my
know?
chakras are blocked now that you're saying. That's what I'm getting. I'm like, I can relate. Yep, yep. That's me. Yep.
Yeah, so it's almost impossible for all of them to be blocked, right? There are times when certain chakras are just active. Like, for example, when you're in love, your heart is more active. When you're talking to me in a podcast right now, you're interviewing me, your throat is really active.
Yeah.
So I feel like at different points, chakras show up differently. But when we do energy work, we can go really deep and find out, oh, these are the problem makers. These are like the fundamental problem makers in your life, not just in this moment, but in your life.
Yeah.
So that's the throat. And then the third eye, this is like my favorite. This is like in between your eyebrows, slightly above. And this is the center of intuition. So whenever this is, showing up in the energy session, something's going on, the energy is like not flowing freely. I always ask my clients, where are you not trusting yourself? Are you always confused when it comes to making decisions? Are you
Again.
saying, yeah, I want to be A, I want to do A, but I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. I should have gone with B. Are you always confused? Are you always questioning yourself? So that's the third eye. It really shows up, and this is something which I run into a lot when I'm like talking to people. And then the last one is the seventh chakra, which is the crown, which is right above the head. So crown chakra is usually like openness, receiving guidance, being open to growth, all of that is in the crown. So it's like when people say, I feel like I'm not growing, I feel like I'm very, very stuck. I feel like I'm not connecting to God. I feel like I'm not connected to a superior force like the universe. I just feel very disconnected. That's something we need to do with the crown and go ask why and when that happened. So, yes, these are the seven chakras.
And so, like, if someone's feeling that, like, if someone's listening to this podcast and they're like, oh, yes, that's like me sitting here going, every single chakra is blocked. I'm telling you, it's blocked on me, which I know it's not, because I had a session with you and I think only 3 were.
Right.
But they're relating to this content. How does it become blocked? Obviously, it's different things in different points of life, but is there certain things that block them, like you see from most people, and the only way to unblock them is like maybe to go to an energy healer, come to you in Nashville, but you also do telehealth, like to help guide you through that unclearing process?
Right. So basically, we have to understand something. It's like when we look at the chakras, like when I read the energies, I'm reading the energies and I am making an effort to redirect the universal energy through my hands into your body. So
Okay.
that always makes people feel really good after a session. They're like, oh my God, I feel really great after a session, right? But that doesn't necessarily solve the fundamental problem, because the thing is, you show up for a session, but you go back to your own lifestyle.
Right.
You still talk to the same people, you still live the same thing. So we need to go deeper into it and identify what are the things that making you do the same things you do, what are the things that making you think the same things you think. So basically, to answer your question, why do chakras get blocked? Childhood programming, subconscious programming, trauma, experiencing trauma, not letting go of trauma, not letting go of sadness, and repetitive patterns in your life is what essentially gets them blocked.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Now, you said that, so when people leave sessions, do they always feel good? Because when I left, like I felt good when I left your house, but on the drive home, because I live an hour and a half away from you, I started becoming
Right.
really agitated. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't
because
know why I was agitated.
so that's called a healing crisis. And just to dive into that, so 60-70% of the clients, yes, they feel great, but they're also led to an inner inquiry. And that's what
Oh,
happened to you.
okay.
That's what happened to you.
Yeah.
They're led to an inner inquiry. Now you're like, I feel good, but oh, this is coming up. And the thing is, when things come up, we're taught as human beings to shut it down.
Right.
We're taught that no, this is icky. We don't have to feel this. Let's just put it in a box where we don't have to feel it, because the only like approved emotions is happiness.
Right. I was literally just talking to I had a therapy session right before this, and I was talking to her because I was telling her I didn't feel like I was opening up enough in therapy. And
Mm-hmm.
that came from another podcast, because sometimes when I podcast, it is my therapy. I'll just go, ooh, light bulb moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Mm-hmm.
telling her, I was like, I feel sad about certain situations that have gone on in my life, relationships or whatever. And I said, and I feel like I'm not supposed to feel sad. Like, I feel like everyone's just like, you're not supposed to be sad, get over it. And that's with anything that you go through. Like, when I lost my job last
Mm-hmm.
year, like, a lot of people were telling me, like, oh, you'll find another one. It's no big deal. And like, so I did suppress all that. And then suppressing it, I felt agitated. I,
Exactly.
yeah, so that's essentially like I was trying to suppress those feelings from coming up, which makes
Yep.
sense.
Absolutely. When they say that when a wound is healing, it's painful,
Yeah. Same with your feelings.
it's the same thing. The pain is not bad. Anybody that's listening who's in pain, like if you're in pain, it's not bad. Allow yourself to feel that so that it can move through you. Don't say you're bad. Do we say that to children? Like, no, you're
No.
bad, you're good. No, we love them all. We love the ones that are mischievous. We love the ones that are well behaved. We love them all.
I just had another light bulb moment. This is crazy. So it's funny that you say that, because I'm obviously in healthcare. I'm a nurse
Hmm.
practitioner, and couple of things on that. Like when you were saying like feeling aligned in your job, I think a lot of times I didn't feel aligned when I was working in the ER, because I'm
Hmm.
not just someone who says, here, take a pill for this. Like, I'm really big into nutrition and holistic care. So I was fighting that in my values. And when I left, that kind of released for me. But secondly, when we always ask pain scales, right? Like, what's your
Hmm.
pain? And everyone's like, it's a 10 out of 10. It's so bad I could
Hmm.
die. And I'm like,
Hmm.
actually, pain's a good thing. That means you're not dead.
Exactly.
And I just
Exactly.
literally am like, oh my God, you just said the same thing about your feelings. And
Hmm.
why did I never put that with my feelings?
Yeah, absolutely. And so when I see clients remotely and in my office, and they are going through the most the most painful thing, and I'm just like letting them cry, letting them scream, letting them do whatever they need, and then at the end they're just like, "Oh my God, it's gone. Oh my God, it's gone. It's gone. It's gone. It's gone." Why? Why is it gone? Because you didn't suppress it, you didn't judge it, you just let yourself be a human being. You cannot bypass a human experience. The more you try to bypass, it is going to catch up with you.
Well, they say, every time like God sends you lessons. So if you
Yeah.
don't learn the lesson, you're just going to get the lesson again through something else. Whether like this job loss that I had, and trying to like leave another situation, like things just kept coming up until I finally paid attention to what was going on. And now I love the two jobs that I have. So,
Exactly. That's an example because you learned from that painful experience. You didn't suppress it. You said, this is coming up. This is feeling icky. This is feeling uncomfortable. Oh my God, my anxiety is high, but this is coming up
Yeah.
and I'm ready to work through this.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you work through the pain is when real transformation happens.
Right. But that's so hard to get there. So I feel like you do need help with that guidance, like someone with you who can do. I think sometimes as humans, I think we just have to have approval. And when we're working with either a therapist or an energy healer or a Reiki specialist, any of those realms, I think that y'all give us approval to feel this. And like there's no judgment. You can just come to the table and actually talk to another human being and being like, this is what I'm going through, without the judgment, without the fear. It's a safe space to do that. So I think that with the guided help from people like you, definitely can help clear that out faster than doing it on your own.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the whole point. Because the
Right.
thing is, Jonna, like this is, I think we talked about it in our session too, is like when we try to do our own work and we try to do our healing in our just by ourselves, our own subconscious mind will protect us from going deeper and healing it. Why? Because it's painful. And our mind will do anything to protect us from feeling pain and being comfortable.
And that's so crazy how the mind works. Have you seen that documentary series on Netflix called Changing Minds or Changing Lives? And it's talking about all the psychedelics that they used back in the day, like the mushrooms, the LSD, like they were
Yes.
truly used in hospitals for people to break through, because apparently it allows all your channels of your brain to like connect and you can't suppress memories and things like that.
Yes.
I was just blown away by that documentary on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
like then I was blown away. Like, we know this, but when it's said out loud or you watch it, it's like, how does the brain literally forget something? Like
Mm-hmm.
you could literally be like 30 years old and you're not older, you don't have dementia, and you've suppressed something from 7 years old. And then like until you work with someone like you, or,
Yeah.
do something to do the therapy, EDMR, or whatever it is, the eye rapid movement, where you remember it. I just think that's crazy, like how the brain does that.
Yeah, because as human beings, what we're always trying to do is we're always lying to ourselves to make us feel comfortable.
Yes. Yes.
Because we're trying to get to a point where the mind is finding comfort. So we're always trying, we're trying to either run away from pain or we're seeking pleasure. That's it. We're either trying to run away from pain or we're seeking pleasure.
Right.
These are the main two motives of the human mind. So when we run away from pain, we don't process it. When we don't process it, we don't heal it. When we don't heal it, it repeats, it repeats, it repeats in different cycles.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people that are in toxic relationships keep attracting toxic relationships.
Yeah.
And they say, I keep attracting, this person is so toxic, da 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 da. They keep saying that because, well, you haven't healed the toxicity that is in you that is attracting the same pattern, because like attracts like. That doesn't mean you're a toxic person. It means you have a level of toxicity in you, or there is something in your body that is saying yes to that toxicity. That is why you keep attracting it. That's why it is so crucial to feel it, to go through the breakthrough. I don't like to, they say breakdown, but I call it breakthrough
I
because it
love
is a
that.
breakthrough. It is a breakthrough. You go through the breakthrough and come to the other side. And now there is no reason to attract the same pattern.
That makes a 1000% sense. Like it does. Like, so I seem to attract emotionally unavailable men. And I was
Mm-hmm.
literally telling my therapist this. I said, I think there's something that I'm a little bit emotionally unavailable. That has to be the reason why I'm attracting this, because maybe I'm not ready for a relationship.
Can I share a personal story?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so I used to be married, right? And I come from a conservative culture. And so when I grew up, the only thing I knew was be a good girl, get married in your early 20s, be a good wife, serve your husband. But believe it or not, women, like, I know this sounds crazy, but that's what that is the program we are fed as, Indian women. Of course, it's changing and it's progressing a lot, and I'm really happy about it right now. But the programming of, all of the 33 years that I grew up, it doesn't just go away. So what happened? I manifested a very cultured man. And then what happened? I woke up. And then what happened? It wasn't a good match anymore.
Right.
Because I woke up, I started knowing better. I started healing myself. I was like, this is not me. Oh my gosh, this is something. that was programmed into my brain from a young age, but this doesn't feel good. This doesn't feel free. This is not me.
Yeah.
And then I healed like crazy. I worked on myself. I went really hard for 6 months. I did so much energy work. I released all the trauma, all the negative nuances in my mind and my body and my subconscious. I healed, I healed, I healed, I healed, I healed. I did inner work for 6 months, and then I did some more work for a few more months. And then I broke the pattern. And now I've manifested someone who is very similar to my vibration.
That's awesome. That's
So that's
amazing.
what I mean. That's what I mean when you say do the work.
Right.
When you do the work and you release the trauma from within, there is no reason to repeat the pattern. And even for you and an unavailable man, there is no reason to repeat that because there is something in you that is calling them in or you're being drawn to them.
Right. Right. Which I need to do the work with you. I know we've talked about it and I just got to sit down and do it. So you talked about manifesting, and that was something I wanted to talk to you about. Do you follow Jay Shetty, or like, are you into his?
I love
Okay,
Jay Shetty.
good.
I follow so many people. Oh my gosh.
I love Jay Shetty too, and he, some people love him or some people hate him, and I love him. So, what are your thoughts on his version of? Sorry, that's the next question. So, manifesting. He talks about manifesting and everything, but we're gonna get to the Jay Shetty comment. I don't know what's wrong with my brain today. So manifesting. You just said that you manifested someone into your life. What
Mm-hmm.
is manifesting to you? Because to other people, they think it is. They put their hands out. I want an apple. I want an apple in my hands. I want an apple in my hands. But they sit there and they do nothing expecting the apple to fall in their hands. And to me, that's not
Exactly.
manifesting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, can you
So
explain manifesting a little bit to us?
this is my favorite thing. Thank you for asking. This is literally my favorite thing to talk about. And if you all are following me on Instagram, you'll see how much I talk about it. Jonna knows.
I
Jonna
love
knows.
it.
Okay.
I love your content. That's why I was like, she's got to be on the podcast. I just love her so much.
Oh, thank you. So, in my opinion, Jonna, like manifesting is not just asking and sitting there, right? Like you said, it's unrealistic. People think it's like a magic pill, and I'm just like, no, it's not. It's like manifesting is number one, clearing, number two, embodying, and then number three, trust and surrender. If you can have all these three things checked, it's already yours. That's it, plain and simple. For example, I can't, like, I can't sit here and be like, I want that. Like, I want to build a multi-million-dollar house,
Yeah.
right? So, yes, I want that. It's coming up as a desire. First of all, if it's coming up as a desire for you, that already means it's meant for you. Let me just take the pressure off of you, whoever's listening. If it's coming up as a desire for you, it is already meant for you. Now, the second thing that I want to ask you is, what is your current version saying about this? Are you saying, "Oh, that $1 million house, I can't have that." Like, I how am I gonna do that? I don't have the money, or I don't have the resources. I don't have a contractor. I don't even know how I'm gonna do it. I may as well just not do it. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of people get into this headspace, right?
Right.
So the inspired action part is really important in manifestation, and the embodiment part is really important in manifestation. So first, you decide what you want. That is the first step. You have to be absolutely clear in what you want, unapologetically, whatever that is. And then the second is, where are my current beliefs about what I am asking? Am I feeling doubt? Am I feeling lack? Is there self worth issues? Do I feel like, who am I to do this? Which is identity issues. I want you to work on that and I want you to clear that. And now you're just like, well, there is no part of me that just doesn't believe it. So, what is the next step? Next step is inspired action. What are the steps you are taking actively to get that? This is so important. It's like, okay, let me just say this. If I'm going to sit on the couch and say I want a job and I don't apply for any job,
They're not just going to come.
how are they going to come? Where are you creating the avenue for the universe to provide for you?
Right.
Where is the avenue? You know what I'm saying? I can't say, oh, I'm going to be an influencer on Instagram and not post anything.
That's like
It's
it.
just,
I'm just laughing because that's hilarious. Because Ace Metaphor kind of says the same thing. Like, how are you going to get a spouse if you don't get out the house?
that is so accurate. That is so accurate. So it's like, how are you allowing the universe to provide for you. Where is the road, the pathway,
Right.
right? So the pathway is the inspired action.
Okay.
So when you take the inspired action and then you have the embodiment, which is absolutely, yes, I'm ready to call this and I feel ready. I'm doing all this work. The next is trust and surrender. Trust and surrender that it is going to come to you, because nobody likes a needy energy, including the universe. Nobody wants a needy ex-girlfriend. Nobody likes a needy ex-boyfriend. Nobody likes a needy person. Let me ask you this: if you're listening to this podcast, like, do you like somebody that's saying, I need this, I need this, I need this? So if you're listening to this and you have needy energy towards your desires and goals, you are pushing it away. If you chase a dog, it's going to run away.
Check
If you
mark
stand,
me needy.
and
Damn
if
it! I was doing it wrong the whole time.
if you chase something, it's gonna keep running. But if you stand, the dog's gonna come to you.
Yeah.
Stillness, surrender, trust. But that is the last step, guys. The first step is clear what is not aligning with you. Clear the belief systems, clear the negative programming. Do what it takes to get in the mindset that absolutely, yes, I got this. And then take the action. When you do these things, step 3 should be easy. Now, just don't be in the needy energy. Just be that, yes, I got this. This is going to come. It's mine. It's mine. It's mine. It's already done. It's already done. And then watch how quickly things start falling into place.
That's amazing. Like, I'm going to try it. I don't know that I cannot not be needy though. I'm just kidding. I've got to work on that. We're going to work together. Trust me. We are going to work together.
Absolutely.
So my next question with the Jay Shetty comment was karma. Do you believe in karma? And what's your definition of it? Because his is very different on the take, and I love Jay Shetty's definition. I think he says something along the... I literally put it on my phone and didn't write it down, not thinking that we were going to be doing this podcast on my phone like a crazy person. But he says something like, people believe that karma is going to, like, if you do bad, then it's going to affect you badly. But it's more of, like, what you do now affects you in the future, not someone else.
Exactly. So I have a very different analysis about karma itself, and I'm glad you asked me this. So when I'm coaching my clients, I don't coach on good and bad, because the thing is, Jonna, good and bad is subjective.
Right.
What was forbidden before is suddenly legal now. What was wrong before is suddenly okay now. So who's making these rules? So, that keeps changing.
All the
So
time.
instead of coaching on the good and bad, the way I explain karma is what you do, and the energy and the intention of you do it will come back.
Right. Because, and I've even heard people like talk about where people are like, I only did this good thing so that good things will happen to me. And that your intention wasn't good.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just because you want to do something good so that something comes back to you to me is not a good deed. Like, sure, you did a good deed, but your intention was to get something back from it. A good deed is to do something unapologetically, do it out of the goodness of your heart, not expecting anything in return.
Yes, absolutely. So this is very interesting because I don't know if you've read The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
No.
If you haven't, anybody that's listening, if you want to understand your subconscious mind, I highly suggest you read that book. And he talks about karma in a different way, which I completely agree with. So it's very similar to Jay Shetty, but it's also slightly different. And so what he says is, it's not about good or bad. So he says, if you think it's bad, bad things are gonna happen.
Wow.
So the subconscious, because remember, perception is reality.
Just
And if you're doing, if you did it, I have to listen to it. So if you believe that you did this thing and you are sitting in guilt and shame, it is 1000% coming back. This is why some of my clients ask me, and this is a loaded question, honestly. Like, some of my clients ask me, how come they did all these like bad things and nothing happened to them?
Because they don't think it's bad.
They don't believe it's bad. Because good and bad is perception. Remember?
Right.
Good and bad is perception. So they don't believe it's bad.
And I've often wondered that too. So now that you said that, that makes a lot of sense. Because I'm always like, why do these people get to do like X, Y, and Z and nothing? Like, they literally are excelling through life. Like, it seems like they're seamless. Like, nothing's bothering them. Nothing's going bad in their world. They get everything they want, but they're not good people.
Right, exactly. So the thing is, Jonna, like at the end of the day, I say this to my client too. We don't know if they're crying themselves to sleep at night.
That's very true.
We really don't know. We can't see social media and be like, they're just happy because social media is called, guys, social media is media. It's media. Like, don't believe that.
And it's a highlight reel, right? Like I've
It's,
done it before. I've posted a
yeah,
picture where I was literally crying as I posted the picture of me being
right.
happy.
Right, right, exactly. So social media is media. First of all, we don't know if they're happy. Second of all, do they truly believe it's good or bad? Because perception is reality. If they believe it's bad, then every action has an equal and opposite reaction. The karma is gonna come back and the perception is gonna be reality. So they're gonna have bad things happen to them. If they're doing quote unquote bad things according to your rule book, but they actually don't feel it's bad and they think they're in integrity and they're doing this nice thing. You see where I'm going with this?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that does make a lot of sense when you explain it in that light. Like, I'm glad I asked that question because I've often wondered that too and never thought to ask it in the way of perception being good and bad. So that's top notch advice there. Love that.
Thank you.
Now, you also do tapping.
Hmm.
What exactly is tapping? Do you tap on your chakras? Like, where do you tap? And like, how does this help heal you?
Right. So I'm just going to give you an example. I love to give metaphors and examples so
I
people
love it.
understand what I'm saying. Like, so if you guys, you're all listening, and Jonah too, like you've heard of acupuncture.
Mm-hmm.
So in acupuncture, they put needles in the meridians of the body to basically ensure the flow of energy to induce healing. So tapping is something that we use on meridians. So we don't have to tap on chakras. We use, instead of putting a needle, we're using our fingers and we're tapping on certain points in the body to
Oh.
release the flow of energy from within.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know that it was related, like same thing as like acupuncture, like same like energy healing.
Yes, it's energy healing. So it's like, so basically, let's just say I have a client that is going through some trauma. And so the way tapping works is, I have the client go through the emotions and then I have them tap on certain parts of the body and then I have them say a few things. So basically, what we're doing is we're releasing the trauma from the body, not just the mind, not just intellectually, not just tears, but it's on a level where the trauma gets stuck in the body and it's releasing in the form of meridians. So every time after tapping sessions, I have clients yawning, I have clients crying during tapping sessions. Sometimes they even want to purge, and then they go to the bathroom and nothing comes out because it's energetic. It's like you're purging something that is so, how do I say it, unaligned with you. It's like coming out. And then they have always felt either ecstatically happy, unbelievably peaceful, or numb and tired. So that means you have released so much of that energy and trauma from the body. So that's tapping.
That's cool. I want you to do some content on tapping on Instagram just to show like people like where to tap and stuff since this podcast isn't visual. So people
Oh,
can
yeah.
go to you because obviously when we ended, I'm going to tell everyone where to follow you and your content's great anyways.
Thank you.
I just would love to learn. Like I've just recently heard about tapping and like
Hmm.
followed some people on TikTok and stuff about it. So I just find it very interesting. And I had no idea it was like same pressure points or meridians as acupuncture because acupuncture's been around for gosh, what, thousands of years?
Exactly, exactly. So it's not the same as acupuncture.
Yeah,
The only reason I gave that example is because it is based on a concept of meridians.
right.
So that's why. But acupuncture, oh my gosh,
Similar.
there's so many. Oh my god, there are like 1,000 meridians, 1,000 points in the body in acupuncture, more than that. But tapping is very similar. Meaning, instead of the needle, we use our fingers and we tap on certain areas where the stress is stored in the body. So when we tap on it and we say it and we feel it, we release it on a body level from the body.
I love that so much. Now, with all your energy work, how do you protect your own energy and not walk around every day feeling so emotionally drained from like because obviously you're taking on all this emotion as well because
Mm,
I've been in conversations with friends where it's like it's not going anywhere or like the
mm.
advice is just back and forth and you just leave the conversation feeling like you weren't heard or like you couldn't help or how do you protect that energy for your own self?
So I think I'm in a very grateful and blessed point in my life to say this. Every time I have a session with my client, I feel amazing.
Well, that's also, you're probably, I don't know if you've ever like had a psychic reading or anything, but you're probably like a natural healer. That's probably what you did in a past life or something.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. Oh my
Yeah, like
gosh. It's
there's no way you couldn't have been.
absolutely, absolutely. So that's definitely another podcast, past life. All right. So that's a really good question. So yes, 90% of the time I feel freaking phenomenal because I have led them through this unbelievable transformation in the session. They have released so much stored trauma and emotions that's like bothering them, and they feel great and they feel like they released something and moved some stuff out. And I feel amazing because I've helped them through that transformation. So most of the times I feel amazing. Sometimes when I don't feel amazing, I take a walk, because walking, movement moves energy. Movement clears energy. So I always take a walk, and movement is also grounding. So I take a walk in the park or take a walk outside, get some sunlight and then move the energy out, right? Another way to do this is really after the session, I'll just go outside, I'll sit and meditate, and I'll be like, I'm feeling a little off after the session. So what is mine and what is not mine? And I do an audit. Because this is the thing. Like, we're all energetic beings and we're all sensitive. People be like, I'm not sensitive, me. No, you're sensitive. Everybody is sensitive in some levels, right? Everybody takes on energy at some level. So it's like when you have a conversation with someone and you feel drained, take some time after the conversation. Instead of going into the story of, I'm sad, I'm depressed, before you go into that, take some time and start thinking before talking to this person, before interacting with this person, how did I feel? Okay, so the shift in my mood is because I talked to this person. So is it possible that I have taken on some of their truth? Is it possible that I have taken on some of their trauma?
Right.
And then say, literally, you can say, I release what's not mine and I send it back to the person. I release what's not mine and I send it back to the person. What is mine, what is here is I'm present, I'm alive, I'm breathing, and all of these things around me are beautiful. So that's a quick way to just detach yourself and come back to your own energy.
Can you call your own energy back just like you give someone's energy back? Can you say, I bring all my energy back to me?
Absolutely. You can literally say, if there are fragments of my energy that I had given to someone, I call all of that back to me in this very moment.
That's awesome. I love that. I'm going to start doing
Yes.
that every day.
Yes.
Every single day, morning and night. I'm going to give
Yeah,
everyone.
because we work with people. We take on whether we want it or not. And it's interesting you asked me. Now I'm at a point where I can say I don't take on because I've been doing this for so many years. But when I started doing energy work and when I started interacting, there were times when I would actually cry. After the clients left, I would be like, oh my God, I feel so bad for her. Oh my God, I feel so bad for them. Like, I would actually literally physically feel it. And then I was like, okay, if I'm in this headspace, if I'm in this space, I cannot provide a transformation for them. So I have taken on this. So how can I get grounded? So I keep sending the energy back to them and calling what's mine. And then I always come back to the present moment. What's here now? That's a great question. What is real and what's here now?
I love that so much. Now, I want to ask you before we go, what is the advice that you live by daily, and one piece of advice that you would tell any person, client that you just like you love to say to anyone?
The one thing which I would like to say to anyone is invest in yourself. And the only reason I'm saying this is people think upgrading is buying that new car, getting that new house, getting that new job, getting married. Because the way people look at it is like that's an upgrade and that's going to give me happiness. But what I need you to know is wherever you go, whoever you're with, you're taking your own mind with you.
Mm-hmm.
You can move countries, you're taking your mind with you. You're taking your mind everywhere with you. So until you feel solid and you are here and saying, I feel balanced, because it's not happy and sad, right? That's also extreme. I feel solid. And the person that I am, I feel balanced. I feel like I have lifetime of tools equipped to balance my energy every day if I need it. When things happen, I know how to balance it. I know what to do. I am so solid in who I am. And now I would like to share that experience with someone else. Or now I would like to share or spread that joy by buying a new car. Now I want to enhance my life by buying a new house. Now that is different. Instead of people rescuing or thinking that that thing is going to make them happy, that external thing is going to make you happy. No, you are going to make you happy. That's it. All bets on you. All bets on you. Whether you choose to invest in a coach or a therapy, that's up to you. Which direction you want to go in, that's up to you. But your biggest investment, I believe, should always be you.
That's 1000% where I'm finally getting in my life. Like I used to like worry so much, like, oh, I'm gonna spend, $1,000 on this coach or whatever. And I have another friend that's a life coach in Florida, and like I'll talk to her about that and I'll be like, I just don't think I can do it. And she was like, yes, you can, because this is going to bring you more money. She was like, so yes, you can.
Exactly. And this has happened with so many of my clients, right? There are so many clients, and I always encourage them to make the best financial decisions and what suits them. At the end of the day, I'm supporting them in whatever they decide. Whether they work with me, whether they want to work with someone else, I always have the best for them. But there are some clients that have told me this is going to be extremely transitioning for me financially, and this is going to be hard, but I am in.
Yeah.
I am in because I know that my own energy is causing the damage in my life. My own lack of healing is causing these abusive relationships. It's causing these manifestations to not go through. It's causing these toxic situations again and again in my life. And I am so ready to let go of that. And then the things they have manifested is on another level. New job, new relationship, new move, new car, new house. Why? Because it's not manifestation, it's not magic. They started getting all those transformations because they started healing and releasing things that no longer serve them. It's the law of vacuum. When you release things, you make space for better. That's
Which
it.
you would think as humans we would learn that we've reached for these external things. We bought the house, we got the car, we got the job, we got this, we got that. And we still are like, it can't be me. It can't be me. But you see all the time celebrities who have everything. They could buy anything they want at a drop of the hat. How many have committed suicide?
You are spot on because I have some celebrity clients. Obviously, I don't want to name them for,
Yeah.
their own confidentiality. I have clients that are multi-millionaires. Why do they come and see me? Why? Because money is not the answer for everything. The house and the car and the marriage is not, it's your mind. You are your biggest asset. You are the brand. You are the millions. You are the house. It's you. You are the vessel. So what are you going to put your money in? Where are you going to invest?
Well, I mean, I've had friends tell me that, like when I've been down or sad after a relationship had ended or something, and they would be like, "But look what you've done. Look what you have accomplished. Look at your degrees. Look at your house. Look at you. You have no debt. Like, look at this stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, look at it. I'm still sad."
Exactly, exactly. Because the primary energy is lack. It's in scarcity. It's in fear. And this is the thing. You can do whatever you want to do. You can move wherever you want to go. Your energy is still there.
I think after this podcast, I'm just going to sign up with you after this. Because I literally already feel like 1,000 times better, and we didn't even talk about me.
Oh my gosh, I love you. I've enjoyed this so much. I love talking about energy and manifestation. It's my jam,
I know. I love it. And I love that you get to do what you love every day as a career. That's amazing that you
Yes.
literally were like, I love people at a young age. And then you did this other job and you felt that something wasn't right. When I know, like, I felt when I was in the ER, like, this is like, even though I loved what I did there, I just didn't feel right going there. And I didn't
Right.
want to leave because I was scared to leave. And then I took another job that fell through. Then now I'm at the job that I actually love, and I had to trust that process. And I almost
Exactly.
was scared, and I was like, well, I'm going to beg to go back to the ER. Everyone was like, why would you do that? You hated it. I was like, because I'm scared.
And this is the thing, Jonna. Fear is not bad.
Yeah,
Sometimes being afraid of what's going to come next may be a good sign that there is a big transformation that you just can't see.
I know. You just got to trust the process, and it's hard. But
You just got to trust it.
thank you so much for doing this. But tell everyone where they can find you, book a session with you, start working with you. So drop your Instagram, your website, your podcast, all the things.
Yeah, absolutely. So you guys, if you resonate with, the way I'm speaking, because I think I told Jonna this too in our session, I'm just a straight shooter.
I love it because I need
I
it.
don't, Yeah, I don't like to, my clients always tell me, give me the tough love,
Call me on
So,
my bullshit.
yes, if you like tough love and also want a massive transformation in your life, you can find me at Transcendence by Meenu in Instagram and Facebook. And then it's transcendencebymeenu.com, where you have an opportunity to book a free consult call with me for 30 minutes, or you can go ahead and book your first session, and then it's all the good stuff after that. And then and then in the podcast you can find me at Transcend into Wellness. So I've only launched like what, 9 episodes now. I'm barely fairly new at the podcasting, but I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. I didn't know you had a podcast until like I was obviously doing some research on a little bit of things to have something to talk about. And then I was like, oh my gosh, she has a podcast. Now I get to listen to her all the time.
Yes, and it's just been amazing. And what I'm doing is just I have decided to serve the collective consciousness. So I'm not exceptional. I'm not your guru. I'm not this master healer. No, I am a vessel in this universe that has decided to serve the collective consciousness. That's it.
I
That's
love
it.
that.
We're all gurus. We're all masters. You are a healer. I'm a healer. We're all healers. We're all exceptional.
I love that. And I will link all your links in the show notes so everyone can just click on the links in the show notes and go straight to your page. Y'all, seriously, book a consult with her. We didn't get to get into it today, but she also does like human design and all that. You can go to her website. She has a beautiful website. She was in marketing. Like everything is very well written out, so you don't even have to basically ask any questions. It's all there. So thank you so much again for doing this. I cannot extend enough gratitude for you because I know time is important and you have clients all day. So just thank you for making time for me.
You are so welcome. It has been an amazing, amazing episode. I love these conversations and I look forward to talking to you soon. And your podcast, amazing. Bring it on. Like whatever you're doing is terrific.
Oh,
So
thank you
yes.
so much. Okay, guys, until next time. Bye.